taxed dollars, cash in your bank account. How fast do you think you could have blown through that if like you weren't careful?
I've already spent it. No, I'm just playing.
This is Financial Tea. Okay, sippers, welcome back to Financial Tea, the podcast where I teach you how to build wealth with a side of market drama, money scandals, and of course, financial pop culture. Today, we have Survivor's season 49 winner with us here, our first reality star.
Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, we had Olivia Atwood, but she's British.
Yeah, I'll give you all the UST.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for you to be here to spill all of the financial secrets.
Girl, thank you for having me. I've been a fan of you since I discovered you during the pandemic. So
that was like
I'm a real one. I know.
Yes.
Right? We were all going through it.
We really were.
You helped me get me through it, like mentally and financially. So yeah,
that's so nice. But first, let's get into the MDJ Market Report. Okay, guys, welcome back to the MDJ Market Report. I got the 4 stories you need to know to understand where the money's moving this week. First things first, I know that everyone is upset that big tech has taken over the Met Gala and Lauren and Jeff bought the big event for $10 million. But like, guys, why are we surprised? They already took over the freaking S&P 500, okay? Let me break it down. So big tech released their earnings last week, and they had one of their best quarters in years. And subsequently, the stock market hit near record highs. But meanwhile, consumer confidence just hit its lowest level since 1978. So like worse than the 2008 crash, worse than COVID. So like, how can this be true? How can it be so hard for like people to, be able to afford groceries? Their wages aren't going up, but like the stock market is doing so well. And it's because the S&P 500, which is a weighted index of the top 500 companies in America, is being driven completely by the Magnificent 7 tech stocks. So that's Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. So like the Mag 7 now make up 33.7% of the entire index, which is up from just 12.5% in 2016. And in 2025, 42% of the market's total return came from those 7 companies. So like when Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft go up, the whole market looks healthy, even if groceries are high and people have stagnant wages. The risk is that if the tech stocks keep winning, the market looks great, but like if they slow down, the illusion will break. Jeff and Lauren aren't just walking the red carpet, you guys. They're also running the stock market too. It's their world. We're just living in it. I'm waiting for my yacht invite this summer. JK would never say yes because obviously I am in protest of them. Just like Zendaya not going to the Met Gala. Okay, now let's talk about Friends, a more fun story, because Lisa Kudrow, very out of pocket, was in an interview this week and said that the members of the Friends cast each make $20 million a year off of the show and residuals, which honestly is just proof that negotiation is the highest paying skill that you will ever earn and becomes so much more powerful when you bargain collectively. I'm going to talk about how you can do this in your life. But first, let's just talk about how they did it with Friends because it's crazy. And by the way, I covered this so in-depthly in Future Rich Person. You've got like one more week to get the pre-order bonuses. So make sure that you pre-order the book at mrsdowjones.com. But basically, when Friends launched, the cast wasn't paid equally. Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer were considered the leads and made more. Will they, won't they? They were on a break. They're getting the big bucks for that. But then by season 3, the gap became a problem. So the cast, instead of like getting mad at each other and like competitive, made a decision that they were just going to negotiate everything as a unit or not at all. So like if you wanted the show to keep going and it was a hit show, you had to play by the rules of everyone on the cast together. There were no side deals, no one getting picked off. And that collective leverage is what got all 6 of them to $1 million per episode by the final seasons, which was the highest TV salaries ever at the time. And what's even crazier is they negotiated back-end participation, meaning they got a percentage of syndication revenue. And Friends generates about $1 billion a year, which is insane. Each cast member gets 2% of that, which is $20 million a year, 22 years after the show ended. And I just want to be clear, like for context, Sex and the City, they didn't negotiate as a group and they don't get this money. Lauren Graham did 7 seasons of Gilmore Girls and said she gets basically no residuals from streaming. These are the same jobs with completely different outcomes. And the lesson is that you will never be able to outwork a good deal. And like one negotiation really can pay you for decades. And most importantly, leverage, especially collective leverage, is where the real money is. So I always think about this in terms of like fertility benefits at work. Like if that's something you really want from your company, find other people in the company that really want that too and go together to HR. Because when you work as a group to ask for something, it gives you a lot more power. Okay. Our third story, we're going to pour one out for Spirit Airlines. They did just shut down. And while people do love to hate Spirit, I flew them to Las Vegas to see Taylor Swift. It was fine. Its existence really did keep flights cheap for everyone. And economists call this the Spirit effect because like when Spirit flies a route, airlines like Delta and United and American are sort of forced to compete with those $40 fares. And so when Spirit leaves, prices can jump like 20% or more. So like even if you never flew Spirit, like me, obviously, budget diva, you benefited from it. And so now that that pressure is gone, higher ticket prices are going to happen. We're going to have fewer ultra budget options. And of course, 17,000 people are out of work. But the bigger issue here is like, it's not even really about the airlines. It's more about just like competition disappearing, which I feel like we've been seeing so much. So when low cost players die, prices don't just stay low out of kindness. Like they rise because they can. The lesson is really that competition is what keeps your cost of living in check. And when it disappears, you are going to feel it even if you don't realize why. Okay. And for our final story, we need to talk about this chart. Yeah, we're going to talk about a chart, guys. It's going viral. It's from Goldman Sachs. And it's basically about rich people who rich wrong because it turns out that higher earners are actually the most broke. According to Goldman Sachs, nearly 40% of Americans making over $300,000 say that they live paycheck to paycheck. So that is higher than people making $50K to $100K. So yes, I am saying that someone making $400,000 is more likely to feel broke than someone making $75,000. And you might be like, Haley, why? Well, it's because above $300,000, lifestyle creep sort of just becomes structural. You start to like get the private school tuition going, you got the mortgage, you got the childcare, the car leases, the second home, the vacations. Like these aren't even splurges anymore. They sort of just become fixed costs. Goldman calls it luxuries becoming necessities. And once that happens, your income goes up, but your savings rate sort of just like disappears. So the real lesson is wealth is not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So if your salary increases, increase your savings rate and your investment rate right away. Automate that because otherwise you will fall into this trap too. And if your lifestyle rises as fast as your income, I promise you that you will always feel broke at every level. So it's so important that you do this. Well, I have so many questions for you, but we always start the show just by asking these 3 icebreakers.
Okay.
So the first one, what are your best and worst purchases of the week?
Oh my God, of the week. Honestly, my best purchase of the week, probably the dinner I had last night. When you
Ooh.
have dinner with good company, like that's everything.
Mhm.
So we went to an omakase spot here
Ooh.
in New York.
Okay.
Anything sushi, I'm always all about it. So, you get the sustenance and, being on Survivor, I'm like any excuse to buy more food, like let's
Yes.
bring it on, right? Especially the good food. Worst purchase of the week, probably anything I'm buying in the airport. Because
Yes.
girl, that shit is
It's
marked up.
insane.
I usually try to like get all my snacks before I go and everything, but I think that, I don't know, I just kind of forgot this time. And it's really more the principle for me.
I used to be obsessed with buying magazines at the airport, which I
No.
literally think was my worst
can't.
financial habit.
Yes.
Yes.
They'll get you.
Uh-huh.
And there's something about going in the airport where I kind of start to think like, oh, like it's a free pass.
Yeah.
Like I'll get all the candy, I'll get
Yeah.
all the snacks, I'll get all the everything. But
Mhm.
no, you can't slip into that.
Yeah. And then you become the person at 8 a.m. who's drinking.
Exactly. Yes.
You're like, what
We've
happened?
all been there in the
Yeah,
lounge.
we have. Okay, what gives you the financial ick?
Oh. Oh my God. Honestly, probably when people complain about circumstances
Mhm.
that they get themselves into. Um, I don't know, dude. I have some friends in
Mhm.
real life. We're gonna keep the names out
Yes,
of it, of
yes.
course. But it's kind of things where you can't complain that you don't have enough money for the bills when you're spending money on stupid shit.
Mhm.
Right? It goes back to this airport example,
Yes.
right? Even if it's saving like $3 to $5 like at a time, like I'm a believer, like that shit adds up. And that kind of mindset is going to seep into any other
Mhm.
area that you have, whether it's the airport, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether it's going to the mall and then
Mhm.
letting yourself slip. So
Mhm.
people who are in that kind of vibe, I'm like, we got to get it together.
Yeah, like the person like borrowing or taking the money out of their 401k to pay off their credit card bill when they have a
Yes.
Porsche. It's
Yes.
like, babe,
You know what's wild? Because I'm in Atlanta now. You
yeah.
see a lot of that in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see a lot of people who almost like put up a front. I've
Oh.
lived across the country. I used to work as a journalist, and so
Mhm.
you move around a lot for that job. And in Atlanta in particular, you have so many people or restaurants or I don't know, just anything really that puts up a front at times for being into the aesthetic. They'll
Wow.
have the nicest clothes, they'll have the nicest watch, but they'll be broke. And I'm like, you guys, like, what are we doing?
This whole idea of faking rich is
Yes.
really just like taken over the culture.
It's wild
Mhm.
and it's frustrating to watch,
Mhm.
but
Yeah. What? Well, okay. So do you feel rich today?
I do. I do.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's not because I have like, millions of dollars in my
Mhm.
bank account, but I think a big part of feeling rich is not having worries, right? They say money can't buy
Mhm.
happiness, and that is so true,
Mhm.
but it can relieve a lot of anxieties.
Yes, I agree with that. It can
And
buy therapy. It can
yes.
buy you time off from work if you're really
Yes.
stressed. Like it can really support your mental health. It can support your actual health.
Mhm.
It can take away troubles like, if family is having issues.
Yeah.
Can't buy happiness, I feel like is not true.
No,
You
100%.
know?
My cup feels so full. Like, I mean, I'm leaving New York today, but I'm
Mhm.
going to go back and see my partner and be with people who I love and just, I feel like I have a lot to be grateful for. So like in the scheme of life, I feel very rich in the scheme of life.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
I know it's very wholesome.
No, I like feel it from you. You have a bright light. You
Thank
have like
you.
a good
And it's not just
energy.
the lighting in the studio. I'm
No,
sure
this
that's
is
helping
good
a little
energy
bit.
too. No, both,
Thanks.
both, both. Okay, so Survivor, obviously cult fandom. People are so
Yes.
obsessed. Everyone that I know who watches Survivor could not believe that you're coming. Like
Oh,
you are
really?
really a fan favorite. They love you, and they're like, she's so pretty,
Oh
she's
my
so good. They
gosh.
love it. So I think people are very curious about the financial details of reality television. And obviously, you're on Survivor. You won. It's a $1 million cash prize,
Yes.
which is a lot of money. How much of that are you actually getting after
Oh my
taxes?
God, girl, it is painful.
Yeah.
It's actually devastating. So, I have already paid my taxes, obviously,
Mhm.
from the past year, and I think I paid about of that $1 million, 380.
Oh gosh.
Girl, it was like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
Like because that's more money than I have ever made in a year
Yeah.
by far.
Mhm.
Especially when I was working as a journalist. Like my first couple jobs out of college, I was like at 30K a year.
Mhm.
And so to sign a check over essentially for that high, it was unreal. It hurts.
It's so funny too because with like big liquidity events,
Mhm.
uh people are supposed to plan in advance with their tax strategy. Like say
Yeah.
you're a founder who's going to sell their company,
Mhm.
they would like a good accountant would tell you like okay, you need to like prepare for this. Like maybe you move to a low or no income
Sure.
tax state, you're putting all of these ducks in a row so that if you do have that big payout, you're
Mhm.
not getting hit with that big tax bill.
Right.
But if you go on reality television, how can you plan to win $1 million? Like it's so you probably didn't think that you were going to win Survivor.
Well, I will say
But
I went in feeling very
oh, you
confident.
did?
Yes, but at the same time, like I wasn't necessarily in the mindset where I'm like, oh, like I gotta financially plan for that money.
Yeah.
Like I was so confident, but at the same time, I was so focused on just getting out there and kicking butt.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about the second part of the year at all. And it is interesting because depending on what state you're in or
Yeah.
even what country you're in, because for Survivor, they accept Canadians for
Yeah.
US Survivor. So you can be from the US or you can be from Canada. Canadians get to keep all that money. They don't have to pay taxes to the US, right? I know.
Stop.
It's so, and there actually was a winner who was from Canada a few years ago. And so the money that's in her pocket is a little different from the money in mine. But
Yes.
at the same time, living in Atlanta, like I'm very grateful that I'm there and not like, I don't know, probably California or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. And is it one giant check?
Girl, this is actually it's sickening. So we played the game in summer.
Okay.
And you play the game, you can get like a very small advance of maybe like $10,000. But other than that, they're keeping that money
What?
because with Survivor or maybe other reality shows, I'm not sure, but there are NDAs in place.
Mm-hmm.
So I know who the winner is. Our cast knows who the winner is, but production doesn't want that to get out. And so they have that check at the end of the day that's kind of looming. We have to wait until the finale airs though before we get that payout. And so for me, our finale aired in December.
No.
Yeah, so I was waiting a long time, very patiently, but literally like less than 24 hours after the finale aired, I see that $1 million straight deposited into my bank account.
Oh my.
It's the weirdest feeling. And that whole day I was checking. I would check every like 20 minutes. Like, okay, is it there yet? Is it there yet? Is it there yet? Just so eager to see, what my hard work paying off, right?
Yes. Well, it does sound like it was actual work though. Like you went and
Yes.
you weren't just like, I'm going on Survivor. You were like, no, bitch. I'm like going here to win.
Yes.
So how do you lock in for that season?
It's so funny. One of the very first quotes that Survivor production showed of me before the season even started, this was in the promos, but it's a clip of me laughing and saying, this is going to be the easiest million I will ever make. And, when I said that, I was kind of joking, like kind of leaning into it, but also seriously, like my previous job, I wasn't really getting a lot of money. I thought, $1 million in a month's work, essentially, that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I can be starving for that
Yeah.
amount of time. I can, put up with other people's BS or lie to people and strategize and sleep on the dirt for,
Yeah.
I've done crazier things
Yes.
for smaller amounts of money, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
But once you're out there, you really realize that any preparation that you've done, like it can't just be preparation from the past few months, right? It's almost like my entire life, I feel like, prepared me to go out there. And that extends to my work as a journalist, which builds this mindset, this tenacity in you for when you're determined to get the story. And, I'm not even kidding. 40 people say, no, I don't want to interview with you. I have no interest in doing this. Like, how are you going to make that work at the end of the day by the deadline, right? It builds this mindset of, when you're up against the wall, how do I get through that wall? How do I get over that hump? And that's what really carried me through the game. But other than that, like the months before I went out there, girl, I was training like a crazy person. I was doing a mix of hot yoga. I would do boot camps. I did a lot of Pilates or Legree classes, which is so good for your core strength. I would do sprinting outside. I would try to talk to anyone and everyone ever because with Survivor, it's such a social game and you're out there with people.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So like I would be in random places like the grocery store or maybe my apartment complex and I would see someone who I've never met before and I would just try to engage with them and try to
lie to them.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, this is wild. This was a couple weeks before I left for the show and I got pulled over by a cop. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I was like, this is a perfect time to practice my lying skills. I know. And so I feel so bad about this now, but the cop pulled me over and he was like, hey, you made like an illegal turn. And I start like crying and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like this is bad. I'm going to get bad karma for this. But I was like, I have to pick up my mom from the airport. Like someone in our family just passed away. My mom's, I know. Girl, well, long story short.
Rabbit out of the hat.
And I didn't get a ticket.
Damn.
But I had to practice that lying.
You
I
did.
know. And I
And
feel
it
so
worked.
bad. I know. So if that police officer
it was your
listening,
10,000 hours.
right, literally,
you
all
had to
condensed
get
into one.
I love
But,
that.
yeah.
And wait, okay, so you have that money in your bank account. You have around like, sounds like $640,000 or around, how much is it? 380 after taxes?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, before.
So after taxes.
I gave 380 to taxes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So it's like 620. Okay.
Sure.
So you had 620,000 taxed dollars, cash in
Yes.
your bank account, how fast do you think you could have blown through that if like you weren't careful?
I've already spent it.
Oh,
No, I'm just playing. Did you believe me?
you were such a good liar.
Good.
Oh my God. I was like, damn, this is financial
Oh my
tea.
God, I know. You were like,
Yes.
you gotta get
In
this
a
girl
way,
off
I
the
was
pod.
upset, but I was also like, okay, but juicy. Like, we're going to be so viral.
No. Oh my God. Girl, honestly, I love to travel.
Yeah.
And there's such a big part of me where I'm like, I want to freaking pack my bags, get on the plane, the first class, Delta
Yeah.
One, and just go everywhere.
Uh-huh.
The feeling is kind of like when you go to college, right? And you get that new sense of freedom. I grew up in a really religious home. So when I went to college, I had that new sense of freedom and I went kind of crazy. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And so I feel like I almost have that same sense of, whoa, like I could go crazy.
yeah.
And I see it kind of seeping into my everyday life in some senses. Like I used to never, ever go really out to eat. Like I would make all my own meals to save money. Now I'm like, fucking DoorDash, like it's more expensive, but like, okay, I'll do it, And so it's like little things like that that have kind of started to creep up. I feel like I could have gone through the money really fast, but I was good and I invested most of it.
Oh, well, we
Yes.
definitely want to know about that. What did you invest in?
So I pretty much just gave it all to my financial advisor.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is someone who my parents have used, someone who I trust deeply. He's managed my money for probably about 5 years and everything. So it's just, yeah.
Do you know what his fee structure is?
Oh my God, I think it's, and maybe cut this out because I could be wrong. But I think it's like 1 to 2%. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it sounds
Okay.
right. I think that honestly, like financial advisors, though, are unless you have really complicated finances, can be a
Sure.
little bit overrated because you end up spending so much money just to have someone do things that are really
Sure.
basic. Like I'm sure if we looked at what they're actually doing, it's like
Yeah.
there's putting them in low cost index funds.
Yeah, that's
You
part of
know?
it. I think there are individual stocks though as well that
Oh,
he's,
okay.
yeah.
He's
So
he's got his
I
ear to the
know.
ground.
Yes.
He's got those good tips.
So my first couple
Hook us
years,
up.
well, I think in like 2 or 3 years with him, he had like essentially almost doubled my money. Yeah, so he's
He's
legit.
doing a good
He's good. Yes,
job.
Bob. Thank you.
Wow,
We love
Bob. You
Bob.
did the hard work
Yes.
of winning Survivor,
Yeah.
and now he's doing the hard work of making sure that you stay rich from it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Bob, shout out to Bob.
Yes.
In the first 30 days, so immediately you're just giving him the money? Or like, what'd you do with the money? And like, did you splurge on anything?
I
Like,
had to.
you had to, of course.
Obviously,
And
like,
I always tell people to do that too. Like, if you got a
Yeah.
bonus at work or something, like take 10 or 20% and have fun.
Yes.
Then be serious with the rest. But like, financial anorexia never works.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because I always kind of grew up with a warped anxiety about money. My parents were on welfare when they had me.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was unexpected surprise baby. And so we grew up being very, very frugal. So having this money and especially having this money so quickly was like, it's like, damn, like what the fuck? Like that's wild. And so yeah, per Bob's advice, essentially, I invested most of it, but I kept around like 40K that I kind of want to play with. And so the first thing we did was we went on a trip to Thailand,
Oh.
2-week trip.
So fun.
Yeah, and you can make the money stretch there.
Yeah, I heard it's
exactly.
like amazing.
Yeah, and so we stayed at some really nice spots. We ate like all the good food. We had like so many massages.
Oh,
Saw the
that's the
elephant.
best.
Yes, and for me, Thailand has kind of been like a dream trip. So
Oh.
being able to go and not only that, but go with my partner who has been through this wild ass ride with me, like it was the best. It was the best, I will say I'm also I love material stuff.
Yeah.
And Survivor, they don't give you a trophy. They just give you the money and they give you the title. And so I was like, I want to buy my own little trophy. So my trophy is actually this watch.
Oh, let's see.
Yes.
Okay,
You
we're both
have like the
Cartier
matching. Yes, I
girls.
know.
Let's see, but yours
I
is
know.
small.
Yes,
This is
small
a
one.
small Panther
Yes.
silver.
Yeah, it's a two-tone,
Oh,
but yeah,
two-tone.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so pretty.
Thank
So
you.
did you buy that full price? Like you
Oh,
walked into Cartier?
yeah, I did.
Damn,
Yeah, I did.
girl.
And so the cool thing about this though is
How much was it?
I think it was about 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
But the way that I look at it too is the first few times I would put it on, I would feel like, oh my gosh, like this is so special. I can't believe I bought this watch that I've been wanting for a very long time and I
Yeah.
bought it for myself. And I realized I'm like, I really need to be more intentional when I put this thing on. And so what I do every morning is when I put on my watch, I think about what it means. I'm like going to get a little emotional talking about it, but like I think about what it means. I think about the hard work that it took to earn this. I think about the tenacity that I had to show and that I had to demonstrate in order to get this material trophy, right? But that's how I start my day every day now that I put this shit on.
That's so
Yes,
intentional.
it is. And I mean, I feel like when we make big purchases like that, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I have some nice clothes, but I don't really think about maybe the shirt that I'm wearing
Mhm.
or the bag that I'm carrying in the same way that I think about this watch.
That's so cool. I
Yeah.
also feel like so many purchases lose their luster,
Yeah.
like most things do. That's why I always say, like with impulse shopping, if you're struggling with impulse shopping, wait 3 days before you pay.
Yes.
So you just leave it in your cart. You won't,
Yes.
like, you're going to forget about it.
Mhm.
But when it comes to something that you really, really want, like it's okay to really want something and
Mhm.
to save up for it and to make it happen. And I had the same experience with my watch.
Really?
Although, yeah, so I got it when I signed my book deal for
Oh
a
my
future rich person.
gosh.
Yes. And I was like, okay, this is going to be probably, it's a culmination of so much work.
Mhm.
It's going to be so much work. And I really want to mark this occasion and get myself something. And I'm going to do that when I put it on, like really think about everything.
Yes.
But I will say that it has not lost its luster.
When did you get yours?
I got mine about, I would say 18 months ago,
Oh
but
my God.
I didn't buy it firsthand.
Oh, okay.
So with watches, similar to like cars or boats,
Mhm.
the most they ever have in value is when they're brand new.
Mhm.
And so they depreciate. And so most of them do, at least,
Sure.
because like there's a lot of these on the market.
Mhm.
Like, we're sort of basic bitches with our Cartier watches, girl. I hate to say it. They're
Hey,
beautiful.
there's something about basic though, like
Yeah,
basic for a
it
reason. It's a
works.
classic.
It totally
right?
does. And I do understand the allure of like having the day of going to Cartier. Like that's so
Yes.
chic.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm like with a woman named Donna in Chinatown who I like trust with my life. And she's like, I got a guy on the phone and his name is Oscar,
Right?
but you can't tell anyone that.
Well, my concern would be like that I would get something fake.
Oh no,
Like,
I have the
okay.
paper. It's under.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I would never have bought it if it wasn't under warranty.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
there's basically like a guy who worked at Cartier who got it for a discount and then
Mhm.
he resold it to Donna and then
Oh,
Donna got it for me.
oh
And
my
so then I was able
gosh.
to get it for a little bit less.
No,
But
that's
it's
the way
still
to do it.
expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say the gold ones are like
Yeah,
pricey.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially now the price of gold. I got it before
Yeah.
it peaked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay,
girl.
girl.
But
Yes.
I will say I love that, and I
Yeah.
do think that like jewelry, especially as like a memento of
Yes.
moments, it
Mhm.
really does hit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Okay, so you're talking a lot about your partner.
Mhm.
Did it affect your relationship with them at all that you had this windfall? Like, is there the expectation that like you're going to pay for more things? Do they feel like they are entitled to some of your winnings? How do you guys split finances?
Yeah. So I love that you asked this
Mhm.
question because honestly, that was one of my, I don't want to say fears, but it was on my mind when I was coming back from Fiji and I'm like, all right, I'm about to get this big payout. And just for context, we've been dating for about 2 years. So when I went through all the Survivor stuff, that had been just about 1 year that we had been together.
That's fresh.
Very fresh. And
Mhm.
especially when it comes to finances, because, that first year,
Yeah.
you're soaking in the relationship. You're not necessarily having a lot of those tough financial decisions or conversations, I should say. And so actually, when I was away filming Survivor, we ended up moving in together. So he picked out a place for us.
Wow.
He paid most of the rent. And we're moving again to a place that's a little cheaper. So he's going to pay all the rent now. Um, it's honestly really nice. I
Oh,
don't
so you have a
know.
sugar daddy is sort of what I'm hearing.
Essentially. And
Yes.
I was so worried, not worried, but I was very mindful that with this income that I was going to have to pay a little bit more.
And he was
Um,
going to ask you to contribute.
Well,
'Cause
yes,
he knew that you got $1 million. You're like, no, I still want to
exactly.
be your sugar baby. But
Exactly.
even though I'm rich now, let's
I
pretend that
know.
I still am not.
It was just a good year. It's not permanent.
It's also hard too because it's like the winnings are everywhere. Like you can't deny
Exactly.
it.
I know. So I think a big part of it though is
That's really funny.
it is, but like I think it's just built into him that he wants to be a provider.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah,
Like that
which
to
we
me is so
support.
sexy.
Mhm.
Yes, because like there are absolutely men out there that would and do expect women to go half and half, and
Yeah.
like that's cool for them. That's not me.
Yeah.
That's not how I want to be living my life. And I'm so grateful to my partner for always like being like, I want to take care of you as much as I
Yeah.
can. Like, girl, like, do your thing. I think a big part of it is also regional. Like when I lived in California, like there maybe is more of an expectation that men and women split things more
You're like the more
equally.
liberal places where women are
Yes.
seen more as equals.
There
is that expectation.
Literally.
But when
which
you
is
go to the
like,
South,
I
they still got
know.
those antiquated values, and we are milking them.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, the South, like, we have our own set of issues as
Yes,
well.
of course.
But at
But
the
you
end of
know,
the day,
there are perks.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm all
And
about women staying rich at the end of the
yes,
day. Like I'm a feminist, but I'm also like, his money, our money, my money, my money.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, like, I'll also offer, like, we're going on vacation soon, and I'm like, babe, like, let me get the hotel, please.
So
Like,
nice.
yeah. And it's the kind of thing where, like, he wants me to be successful with my finances, but I also want to help as much as I can. And, like, almost give him a thank you for just being such an incredible man and partner and supporter.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you like get him anything like to sell it? Like you got yourself a watch. You're like, no watch for you though.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
We're working on it.
Um, was there anyone else in your life though where money did affect the relationship?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
I will buy him shit. Like, because I don't want it to sound like I'm just hoarding onto
No,
all
no,
my,
I'm,
all my
ki- I'm
well,
yes.
because like I bought him like some clothes the other day. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
babe, this would look so good on you. And I know like he's not going to spend money on himself in that way. I'm
Yeah.
like, babe, like I want you to look hot. Like, let me get you these shirts.
Yeah.
So,
So it's sort of a
anyways.
purchase for you though.
Yeah,
You know?
there's some mutual
Yeah.
benefits, right?
I will say like women do love, like I love to buy, whenever I've dated anyone, I've
Yeah.
bought them clothes
Yeah.
because, let me pick this up.
There you
And
go.
it is sort of just like a gift for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, ooh, like now, like my boyfriend is wearing this outfit that I really like.
We're both going to be looking good.
Yeah,
I get
I
the
love
hot
that.
boyfriend. Yes.
Okay, that's so there was never even the question of like, okay, you're gonna be contributing more.
No, like he never even asked.
You would have, it sounds like you would have gotten the ick too if he had asked because
Probably. Yeah, just
it's like a
because,
financial
like,
value of yours that you are taking care of, which is okay. Like
yes.
everyone has their, and maybe also it comes from childhood, like with
Yeah.
all the welfare stuff, like you
so.
want to feel safe and supported.
Yeah, I mean, that's to me, like, it's such a sexy thing when a man
Mhm.
wants to say, like, let me take care of you.
Mhm.
Like, let me be that provider. And I don't know, you just feel so manly when he does that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I like it. Turns me on.
But I think that also you're coming at it from a perspective of having your own money on the side.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're in the position where the man is taking care of you, but you have nothing else, then
Mhm.
it makes a relationship really imbalanced because you're sort of stuck.
Yes.
But with you, I mean, you have made lots of money. You have lots of money compounding in the market. If you wanted to leave, if you did any kind of fuckery, you could get out.
Yeah.
But so it's just sort of like a bonus that helps keep the spice alive, it sounds like.
Right, exactly. And I mean, like, I know women who are in positions like that where they
Mhm.
don't necessarily have their own income and they
Yeah.
are kind of trapped in relationships or situationships where they literally cannot leave. It's impossible
Mhm.
because of their finances. And like my partner, like I plan on being with him for life, like,
Love
so
that.
that's not too big of a concern. But for now, it's working out okay.
Yeah, great. And you have that safety net.
Exactly.
You always got to
Exactly.
have that
Always,
getaway
always.
car.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you have won Survivor, this is obviously like, you were saying that you spoke on a panel yesterday. Like, what other
Yeah.
revenue streams has this opened?
So
if you play it right.
yes. So here's the thing. I feel like I didn't play it as right as I should have. I know
Wow.
I'm having regret because during my season,
Mhm.
I was kind of active on social media, but nowhere near the level of activity I am right now, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I wish I would have leaned more into let me make content,
When there was the
especially content
buzz.
about the show.
Yeah.
Yes. And I still am seeing like, attention and engagement online. I think people are really curious about all the behind the scenes stuff of Survivor.
Yes.
As someone who was a fan before I was a player, like I love sharing
Mhm.
that tea. But I do wish I would have leaned into more of that content creation side. So other than the full $1 million winnings and everything, I'm on Cameo. So I've made like, in comparison to the $1 million, it's a small fraction, but probably close to like $20,000 off Cameo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's wild because I like doing the videos for people. It's sweet, but people will pay like like 70 to $100 for a quick video
Mhm.
from me for their, I don't know, mom's birthday or something, which is wild.
Have you ever gotten like a really weird request?
Yeah,
Yeah.
girl, I had like, can I share?
Yes, I'm dying for you
Even
to
if it's
share.
inappropriate.
Oh, the more inappropriate, the better. I have
Oh
like
my
really
God.
pervy listeners.
So I posted a selfie on Instagram and I'm wearing like a little dress, but like you you can kind of see through the dress a little bit.
You
Like, I
knew what
wasn't
you
wearing
were
a bra.
doing. You knew what you were doing. You said, I didn't post enough during the show, so
Right, we got to make up for it.
yeah.
No, so I posted this like little selfie, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got a Cameo request, and it was from someone on Instagram who, like, I guess had seen the picture, and they start asking me about like my body, and they
Wow.
were asking like, is your nipple pierced, and like all this stuff. And it was very invasive, but I made the Cameo.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, I didn't say anything in the Cameo that like I wouldn't mind the public
What did he
seeing.
ask you to say?
Girl, I can't remember, like, because he had a bunch of different questions.
So was the Cameo like my nipples pierced, or was it like
No. It was like
I'm your little
here-
girl?
here-
Like, what was the vibe?
What?
I don't know.
You
like,
made that
I
one
don't
up.
know. I'm like, what did he want you to say?
Oh my God. So part of his request was, I'm going to have a birthday. Would you come to my party?
Okay.
And then he said also, if the Cameo was maybe like $80, he was like, I'll give you a bigger tip if you do this Cameo in a bikini or like,
Cool.
Yeah, which I didn't do. I
Oh.
wore like a hoodie sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. So silent
Looking like a
protest.
bum. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But I kind of like mentioned that in the video. I'm like, like I don't think I'm gonna do that. Sorry. Like it's just having fun with it. And then, just being a little cagey.
Yeah. Men
That's-
love a little mystery.
They do. So,
when it's zipped all the way up, they want to know what's underneath.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, some people are crazy.
And you definitely could take it that way. Like a lot of reality
sure.
stars then take it more to like the OnlyFans route.
Yeah.
Or,
And no shade to that.
yeah. Oh my
Like,
God. There's
get your
so much.
check,
Oh my
for
God. There's
sure.
so much money in that,
Mhm.
and it comes with consequences, of course. But I also think that like it's given a whole generation of women so much economic security that if you
Mhm.
can mentally handle doing it, it's something that like can be pretty powerful.
Yes,
Mhm.
100%. But I don't think that's me.
Yeah. I think you sort of know.
At least not right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you won the show.
Mhm.
Talk us through your decision to go back on after winning. Like you weren't just like, wow, I just did one of the hardest things I've ever done and won it all. Like maybe I
Yeah.
should quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, no, I absolutely thought like that. I'm a big believer in if something scares you in life,
Mhm.
it might be a sign that you should go for it. And
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of power of listening to your gut. And if something feels unsafe, like, in that kind of way, like don't pursue that. But my reason for being scared to go back for 50 was, oh my God, what if I lose? What if I'm a first boot? Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna make fun of me. And I realized, I'm like, wait, like that's so egomania in my head right now. Like, why am I worried about that? Why am I worried about failure? I could very well fail. And what's the worst that's going to happen if I do? I get to meet some incredible players who are probably
Mhm.
going to be on the season.
Yeah.
I get to, be out there and still get paid for being out there because even the first boots, you make money.
Yeah. How much
Um,
do you get paid to be on the show?
So typically for a normal season, the person who's voted out first will make about $2,500.
Mhm.
So for being out there on the island 3 days, you're making 2,500. For season 50, it was different. I think the only thing I can say right now is that the first boot makes a minimum of $40,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was the third boot. And so like again, like keep in mind the money that I was making my first 2 jobs out of college, $30,000, $40,000 a year. I made more money in a month than I was when I first graduated.
Mhm.
Like so I'm like, how could I say no to that?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Again, it's that principle of me. Maybe I don't need that, whatever, that amount of money, but I just as a my principles like won't let me turn that down.
I think it does. I would like all of your how we look at money is rooted in behaviors from when we were 7 years old.
100%.
Like it all is from childhood. So I feel like
Yes.
so much of this does come from the fact that like you grew up with scarcity, with
Mhm.
fear around money. And so it's like if someone's offering you a paycheck,
Yep.
you're never going to really be able to confidently, even though you know you have enough,
Mhm.
I think that enough is probably a hard thing for you to really feel.
Yeah, I don't think there will ever be enough,
Yeah.
which is like, I don't really love that mindset. I feel like maybe being insatiable in that way isn't like the healthiest way to think about money. And maybe I need to go to therapy for that. But at the same time, like, I think it also kind of has lit a fire in me in some cases. And, for my first season, like, I was really determined out there.
Yeah.
And, There would be situations where I'm like, okay, I just have to push through this situation, through this one challenge, and I'm in pain right now, and it's hard and it hurts, and I'm really going through a lot. But I'm also one person away from winning $1 million. That was always in my
That's
head.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, can you walk us through more of the finances of the show? Because you just said that for the season 49, for $2,500 if you're the
Yes.
first boot. So then what about the other levels? Like if you are the runner up, how much do you get? Like, and also what are the finances of season 50?
So I will say, I think like Survivor is probably one of the better paying shows. Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure like Bachelor, Bachelorette, like they don't make anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they make probably plenty off of like the brand deals and like the influencing.
And
at
they
the
have
end
to
of the
pay for
day.
outfits. You didn't have to do any
Yes.
glam. You
No,
just
I know. We're literally out there.
Yeah. Like, which we'll talk about your big sweater later.
Yes.
But yeah,
Oh my God, I love that one. But for Survivor, at least for most seasons, the runner-up, so second place person, they get $100,000.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so it is a pretty big jump from second to first place. But that second place person, like they're still walking away with a pretty nice paycheck. I think third place makes about 85. And then honestly, like, because I wasn't there for like the earlier boots, like it's so hard for me to remember that pay structure. I think it goes up substantially though once you get to what they call the jury phase. And so that's like maybe the top 10 people or so, they start making a decent amount of money.
That's great. And do you have to leave your job to go on the show?
So what's wild? It depends on people's situation with their work. And so I'll tell you a little bit about what people from my first season did. I took the time off unpaid. I think most people took time off unpaid. One person on my season, I believe, took like I don't. It's not medical leave, but it's like the I think it was short-term disability, and they
Oh,
weren't like totally honest about why
okay.
they were
They're
leaving.
practicing their lying.
Yes, exactly, right? Any way that you can. Um, I think like in today's day and age, when you watch Survivor players in 2025, 2026, like it is people who have almost the luxury of being able to say, I can take the unpaid leave. I don't necessarily need that paycheck. Whereas, when you watch Survivor in some of the earlier seasons, like you would see people who maybe come from a financial place where like they desperately needed the money. I think that is maybe one of the disparities. You see a lot of people from like, stable financial backgrounds playing the game, and it's because they actually can afford to go out and play.
Love that. Oh, so you think that there's like a lot of sort of like richer people on Survivor because they can
Yeah.
take a month off work?
Right. I wouldn't necessarily even say rich, but like comfortable,
Financially stable.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. So it's like a reality show that attracts that.
Yeah, I
Because with
mean,
America's Next Top Model, it was like they literally had to pay for their own food, pay for their
yes.
own drinks. Like it was so crazy. And they weren't making money from the show.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll say this too, like there are people who go on the show and who are struggling or who are in debt, but I think for the most part, you'll see more people who are comfortable, leaving their families and their jobs and their financial situations for a month and a half.
And what do you think is the biggest lie that the show tells through editing? Like, were you satisfied with
Ooh.
the edits that you got on each season?
I was actually, which
Oh,
is
okay.
wild. Yeah, because I think for the first season, I come across as a villain.
So you
And
you went in wanting to be a villain.
I thought I might have some villainous tendencies.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Honestly, I see it.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
No, just like I feel like you have like a lot, what you give out could be different than what's going on inside,
Yes. Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm very like my cards are just all on the table, but like your cards are more close to your chest.
Yeah, it's
Which
the
is chic.
Scorpio in me. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
jealous.
okay, I'll be chic.
Yeah, that is chic.
So I think that my edit, because I did get, accused of being a mean girl, and I heard a lot of people online who did not like my persona on the show. And I think, it is hard for editors to show a full picture of someone, right? They have so many hours of footage, and you get 1.5 hours a week to show, up to 18 contestants. Like, you're of course only going to see a fraction of them. I love how editors showed my strong side and my fierce side and my bold side. I think that some people's perceptions of me, though, and I'm not just talking about the cast, but people in the real world who might say I give off mean girl energy when I'm not even really doing anything that mean. I think that's kind of a reflection of where our society is and how we
Yeah.
view women who act in a certain way or who will say certain things or who will do whatever it takes to win $1 million. Like, I'm not going out there to be Miss Congeniality. I'm going out there to win $1 million.
Mhm.
What? No, like, I don't need to be a nice girl.
Yeah, and what does it take to win? I love
Mhm.
that. And I think like so and you see it in the workplace too. A woman is a
Yes,
bitch. A woman is like,
exactly.
cold,
Mhm.
all these things. She like just because they're trying to like be a leader, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, and you can see men who display those same attributes and no one's calling them a mean boy,
No, and that's not even a
right?
term that we use.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, that should be the new thing.
I know. Let's start
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we
Let's go
need the
after the
new
men.
Tina Fey movie, Mean Boys. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know. That's an interesting Survivor's like a reflection of what's going on in our society in a
Mhm.
lot of ways. And I think that's one of them,
Yeah, definitely. And like when it came to winning, because you were saying, okay, you did all your hot yoga,
Yes.
your Pilates to get your core strong. But I also know that you had been watching since season one.
Girl, day one fan.
Yeah. So you like were sort of training in a way your whole life for this, it sounds
Yeah.
like. So what does that look like?
Like what do you mean? What does that look
I
like?
mean, like, okay, basically, like, I think that it's really impressive that you won Survivor
Mhm.
because it like does require so much strategy, but also physical grit.
Mhm.
And so I was wondering how you prepare for that, and also what of those qualities you find make you successful in the real world.
Oh, that's such a good question.
Mhm.
Okay. So I think like grit is everything,
Yeah.
especially for my game in Survivor, but that's something I really just learned like from my work as a journalist. Like,
Wow.
I mean, that industry is so hard and I went into it, not for the money, of course. I didn't give two shits about being on TV. Like I genuinely wanted to make a positive impact in the world and I thought that journalism and communication was my best, chance at doing that. And that industry is, there were years where I was waking up at 1:30 in the morning to go to work. There were years where I was working until midnight and working on weekends, so I had no life. You give up a lot to do that job. And when you're out there in the field, every day is full of surprises. And a lot of those surprises aren't really good surprises, right?
Yeah.
You'll find out halfway through your shift that your story's changed and you still have to be on air at 4 p.m. with the lead story and you have to get interviews from X, Y, and Z. And a lot of these things sound like they are daunting tasks and you're wondering how on earth am I going to make this work? But at the same time, you don't have time to say, oh, shit, like I feel sorry for myself or like you literally don't have time to feel defeated. You just go straight from, okay, I got this news. Now we're in action mode.
Mhm.
Right. And it's this mindset that, I literally spent 10 years building. And so when I'm in the game, but also in my real life now, like I just kind of, I react and my reaction is that action plan.
Oh, that's so good. So
Yeah.
you're never getting like so emotionally bent out of shape. You're able to
Right.
take a step back and look at things clearly and then figure out, okay, what's the most pragmatic next step?
Yes. Yes.
I feel
And
like you have to be very practical.
and I think that actually is one of the things that it's a good thing in a
Mhm.
lot of senses. I think that sometimes, though, I don't necessarily process those emotions because I just am so quick to go to, okay, my reaction, I'm going to take action.
Yeah.
And so those emotions do get kind of like bottled up and then they'll come out like later and I'll be like a
Yeah.
total mess. That's actually one of the things that happened in my first season. I just like had an emotional like breakdown because I had just been reacting
Yeah.
and not processing,
Mhm.
And so,
Which we loved as viewers.
yes,
That's the
yeah,
issue with reality TV. We're like, the more your
you
mental
love it.
health, yeah, it
Mhm.
struggles.
It's
Like
fun to watch.
it
It is fun to watch.
is.
Not fun to experience, but,
No.
life is all about finding that balance though,
Mhm.
right?
I love that. So who did you trust that you feel like you really should not have trusted?
It's wild. Like in the game, for my first season, probably my best friend out there. I know. And in
Yikes.
real life, she is such a gem. Like
Mhm.
I love her. She's been there for me. She's been there for my partner throughout the whole process. But there was a point we're watching the season back and I start to hear her say almost every week, like, Sav is a big threat. Like I will need to turn on her eventually. And at the very end of the
Oh
game, she
my
did turn
gosh.
on me. Yeah. And she turned on me and our other closest ally. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, like I thought this woman's intentions were to go all the way to the end with me. And it felt in a sense almost like like when you're going through a breakup
Yeah.
and your partner might say like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm done with you. It felt like I was rejected like that in that moment. And just those thoughts of, wait, but like, I thought we were supposed to be together. Like, how can you be, moving on without me? Like, I
Yeah.
thought we were going to go to the end together.
Yeah.
And to have that happen and to also have to relive it as it's airing, 6 months later, it's the wildest experience. But what happens on the island, in my experience, has stayed on the island. And my friend, like when we were gone filming 50, she messaged my boyfriend every single day, checking in on him. When I got back, she had this huge gift basket for me, like, just saying, good job on 50. She's seen me cry. She's been my shoulder to cry on a lot.
I'm
And
sorry. Like for me, at least, like if someone
yeah,
burns me in that way, like even if they're doing all these nice actions, like I'm still gonna be or at least a little bit suspicious. Like
yeah.
can never get back that original trust. It's like if someone cheats on you, you're like, maybe you stay in the relationship, but like do you ever rebuild from a place of like actually trust?
It's all in the context of the game, right?
Okay.
And like one of the cool things about my friend in particular, and I think also me, is like I've been really good about being able to keep stuff confined to that 26-day period. I feel like I've always been really good at compartmentalizing, probably from my work as a journalist. You're
Yes.
covering a murder at 6 p.m. and then you go home. Are you going to take that with you? No, you have to leave it in
Yeah.
the day. And I feel like you see someone's true colors when they're not up against you for $1 million in the real world. And,
I think for you also, like you really do value money. Like
yeah.
it's like, and of course we all do, but it's like I feel like it does just like the $1 million really hit for you. Like the
Mhm.
prize of Survivor, like I'm sure it hits for everyone, but
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I just keep thinking back to like, how your childhood and all these things, like it feels like it meant something even bigger for you. So you
Yeah.
get like that it could mean something different for everyone too.
Yeah.
And like sort of empathize and are able to like see it through that lens.
Absolutely. And I mean, I look at my game too. Like, I lied to people, I backstabbed people. I was not my best self a lot of times with some of those people who are out there on the island. And a lot of the people who I was competing with and who maybe didn't like me when I was out there, they have been able to say, all right, Savannah, that was you in the game when you're starving and you're hangry and you're kind of crazy. But we know Savannah outside of the game. Those are, the same person at times, but they're also very different. So we're a product of our environment, right?
So besides competing on Survivor, what's the other craziest thing that you've done for money?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, probably working in those smaller markets out of college where like you're $30,000. Like I know there's people who make that, but like I just felt like at the time, like it was no money
Mhm.
for where I wanted to be at the time. And I mean, I remember when I moved to San Antonio after working, that was my second job in San Antonio, and having like no money in my bank account and being like, oh my God, like, how am I going to eat this week? Like, before my job actually started, and just being like, I really hope that this investment into my career and working in these small markets has been worth it. Let me think. I mean, because I'm trying to think about like anything else that I've done crazy for money, but like, I'm
Like
pretty
how far would you
boring.
take it, girl?
Well, what are the
I
options?
don't
What are the options? I'm
know.
not gonna do anything like sexual.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
say
I mean
that.
that's your
Yes.
line, I feel like.
Yeah,
But you
and
would do like an embarrassing ad campaign.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what do they want me to do? Like
Yeah.
fart on TV? Like I'll do that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah. You're
yeah.
just gonna get the bag.
Yeah, I think so because at the end of the day, like it's funny because people watch the show and they think I have like a big ego, big confidence problem. But like I don't really have that big of an ego. Like my ego's not big enough to stop me from doing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm able to put that aside and say, if this is gonna help me for my future, like fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is like your version of like who's your future rich person?
Like what do I want to? Where do I want to
Yeah, like
be?
where do you like what are you working towards?
Well,
And like because we just said like, oh, you don't really enough doesn't exist for you. So like
exactly.
how does that look, do you think, in the future?
It's that is the tricky part because I hate to say it, I don't think anything will really ever be enough. Maybe that'll change over time, but I want to be in a place where I can travel freely.
Mhm.
And I want to be in a place too where I don't feel like I need to say yes to everything.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of in that place right now where I'm able to pick and choose
Well,
what
we're grateful that you're
projects.
here.
Yes, like So I'm in a good spot now, but I really want to be in a place where I can be very selective, where I don't necessarily have to work every day. And where not only me, but my partner, like I want to travel the world with him and I
Oh,
want to just, live life to be this amazing adventure.
that's so
And
fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Money will come, I want to
So
live with that
that's what
mentality.
you're working towards. Like when you think about that
Yes.
money in your investment account,
Hmm.
like that money, you're thinking about, okay, that's my travel fund. That's
Yeah.
my, what does retirement look like for you?
Like, girl,
Or you don't think that'll happen? Or it's
I
like,
don't
or is that
know.
your safety net? That's like your money if you get sick. That's your money. Like if something bad, like how do you view that the
The money
financial
that's away.
security that you've gotten from the show?
Yeah, I would say it's an investment into my future for sure. So if I'm able to, years down the line, like that would be like ideally what I would be living off as far as retirement goes. Um, but I I also do feel like I'm the kind of person who I always do like to be doing something. Um, I think maybe when I can retire, I still probably am gonna want to be doing shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're about that bag,
I know.
focused on it.
I am.
Okay, wait, but I'm like really excited that you're here because I've always wondered, like watching Survivor,
Yeah.
what support the contestants get behind the
Yes.
scenes. Like, are you getting someone familiar with the production told me that like you might get water, you might get sunscreen,
Yeah.
but that's really it. Like, there's no food being slipped your way when the
Mm-mm.
cameras are you ever seeing the cameramen eat or camera women and like
No.
you're like, can I have a bite? Like, is this accurate? Is it what you
That's so funny.
expected?
I wanna know who your source
No,
is.
we can't obviously say the source,
Okay.
girl.
It's Jeff Probst, the
It's
host.
Jeff. No, Jeff obviously got him on the horn before you got
Yes, I love
here.
that. No, so the only things they
And
give
do they
you.
NDA you? Like, can you just say everything about the experience?
So there is a lot out there on the internet, but I'm assuming most of your listeners aren't on the subreddits every day, like,
Well, I don't know. We could have,
flipping on the
there's
feed.
people, you would be surprised.
Yeah?
I mean, the survivor heads, like, they run deep.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. We are
Yes.
everywhere too.
Yeah.
So you do get water, you do get sunscreen, and you do get like bug repellent, insect repellent.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily work on all the bugs out there. Like you could still get bites and stuff, but for the most part, like they want to make sure that you're not actually out there like suffering too bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Oh, for women, also you get like feminine products. So
Mhm.
like, if you get your period, there's some women who never bleed when they're out there just because your hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, so they'll do that. As far as, did you ask about after the show?
No, I was wondering
Okay.
like during the show.
Okay.
Obviously, now I'm like, what are you talking about after the show?
I
Like, I want
know.
to know that too. But like
Yeah.
when you're filming, like, is there any like secret granola bar? Like,
No,
or
no
you're
granola bars, no toilet paper. I will say, like, the cameramen, like, you don't even see them eating, because, like, that would be actually cruel if you're starving and you look over and you see, like, a cameraman with a big sandwich, right?
yeah, with a
Um,
big thirst, like eating Jersey Mike's. Like,
exactly.
it's so good.
Well, the thing though is that you do get the opportunity to get rewards. And as the season goes on, the rewards will get like bigger and better. So the first food reward on my first season was like a platter of fruit, which like, it is whatever, it's fruit.
Yeah,
But you're so hungry, you're like, I'll eat anything.
yeah.
Um, as the season goes on, we had the opportunity to get like I think a steak dinner was the last one. We had tacos. There were people who got burgers, grilled cheese
Oh my
sandwich.
gosh.
The food is like, I mean, if you're in New York, like you're probably having better food here. But when you're not eating, like it is
No, it
literally
probably
the
sounds amazing. I
best.
mean,
It
even
is
like when
so
I'm
good.
hungry and then I eat, it's like I could eat
Yes,
anything and be so excited. So if I was on Survivor, I think it would be
exactly.
more intense.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, and then also my other question, and real heads obviously want to know, where is your amazing big sweater from?
Oh my God. Okay, so I thrifted that.
Oh,
So most of the clothes that you see me on the show with, like there are things that were already in my closet. They told me like I was gonna be basically on the red tribe. And so bring clothes that are red or orange or brown. So I didn't really do a ton of shopping. But that sweater, I was looking for something that could keep me warm, but also something that would be reflective of my personality.
yeah.
I wanted to wear something that I was proud to wear.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times, we can tell a lot about a person by,
Yeah, by
how they present
oh,
themselves.
100%.
Yeah. And so I thought like, okay, well, this sweater is it's kind of bold, it's fun. it's kind of oversized, which shows that like, it can be a little casual. Like that's
Yeah.
the vibe I want to give.
Yeah. Okay. Love
I
that.
still have it too.
Oh my,
So,
that's,
yes.
I mean, we could auction that off
Probably.
for sure.
I know.
Okay. And then the last thing that I want to tell you was that I actually was the man from Cameo.
I love that.
Yes.
I brought my bikini today,
Okay,
so I'll give you a live
perfect.
cameo in the
Yes.
bag after this.
Low key, big Savannah head, just trying to get all those cameos. Okay, sippers, thank you so much for listening or watching to another episode of Financial Tea. We are back every Thursday. Make sure that you rate and subscribe. It really helps the show. And also, if you have not gotten your copy of Future Rich Person yet, it's my book. It comes out May 12th. And when you pre-order, I've been telling you guys, you get $700 worth of financial freebies that will help you become that future rich person. So if you really want to maximize your investment in yourself, you want to make 2026 the year that you get your finances in order, this is the step that you need to take. And if you like the show, you're going to be obsessed with my book because it's just like me, but I just am teaching you all about how to grow wealth, especially in this crazy economic period of 2026. Okay, Sam Altman is calling me, so I have to go, but stay rich.